boys and girls. Mr. Lane here. We're going to work on our new project, the Chimera. We're going to start by clicking on New Project. We're going to call it Chimera in Classwork. We're going to click on Screen, and then we're going to click on XGA. If we did that right, our number should be 1024 by 768. If you have all of this, go ahead and hit Create. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy an image and use a tool called the lasso tool. And we're going to separate the image and we're going to paste it in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new tab. We're going to look up a horse. And horse is spelled H-O-R-S-E. And once we have our horse and we click on images, we are going to look for several images. The image you're going to look for should be very close to the top. It should be of this like brown horse running. And when you see this picture, notice that I clicked on the thumbnail. The thumbnail is the smaller picture that represents the image. Like if you see that I'm clicking on different thumbnails, you get a different version. So we want this one of this horse on the beach. Now we're going to copy this image, and when we do so, if you're on a Chromebook, you can hold the Alt key and you click on the picture, or if you have a mouse, you can right click, and we're going to select Copy Image. And notice that we're doing it on this larger picture, not the smaller picture, and I'll show you why. If we accidentally copy this smaller picture, we bring in a photo key, I can show you that by pressing Control and the letter V for victory, this picture is really small. In fact, at some point, I'll tell you to click on Transform Controls. When we try to make this bigger, notice that our picture becomes blurry and pixelated. This is not what we want. In fact, we're going to click on this trash can to delete this. If I go back and I copy this larger photo, so I press Alt, or hold Alt, I hold Alt, and I click on it. I right click and I select Copy Image. When I bring it into Photo P, I press Control V. Our picture comes in nice and clear. In fact, it's a little bit too large. How large? Well, if you pinch with your mouse and we zoom out, you may not see this at first. It might just look like this. By going to the Move tool and turning on Transform Controls, we're going to see these 9 boxes. I know there's 8 on the outside. The 9th one here is in the center. And what these boxes allow us to do is to either scale our image, which means we can shrink it, like we're going to do. There is a way to rotate, and we'll talk about that later. Or sometimes there's a way to stretch. But we only need the horse small enough to where it fits inside this photo. When you have that, we're going to click on this check mark to let Photo P know that we're done. And we're going to use what's called the lasso tool. And the lasso tool is the letter L. When you press the letter L, this icon right here should light up. And if you remember when we did our hamburger, the lasso tool will allow us to essentially lasso or draw around an item we want. Since we want the horse, I'm going to draw around my horse. And after I draw around my horse, like so, you'll see that it puts our dancing ants, or in Photo P's case, not so dancing ants. Now, with our dancing ants around a horse, I'm going to hold the Control key down and press the letter J. And if you didn't get that, like I said, I press Control and the letter J. By pressing Control and the letter J, you'll notice that over here, we have this new layer. You might be saying, Mr. Lane, what's the difference between what I just did and when I pasted the picture? Well, you'll see this little icon. If you look, it looks like a tiny eyeball. If I turn off the picture layer from before, you can see that I have what I have selected, and it's just this horse and this background. What I want you to do now is, I want you to press E for your eraser, and I want you to erase around your horse. And if you're wondering why it didn't work, it's because Mr. Lane was on the right layer. So I'm going to go into this layer, and I'm going to erase around my horse. I want you to go do that.